mentors, fellow speakers, and all the students present here today, a very warm good morning to you all. I'm Vyom Bamal. The theme today is the triumph of the human spirit. The topic that I'm going to be speaking on is soaring to my dreams in the face of adversity. Now, why was the word soar used here? I'll explain that. Growing up, I always was in a military background family. My dad was in the Air Force, and I always grew up around that environment, seeing my dad being in the Air Force and in that culture and raised in that heritage. And I've always been fascinated by flying. I've always been passionate about flying, and I've always been hooked onto it. That is why the word soar is being used here. Now, sticking with the theme, triumph of the human spirit, this is the Gita Updesh. In the great battle of Mahabharata, Krishna ji gave the knowledge of the Bhagavad Gita to Arjun there on the Rath. And the Bhagavad Gita, in my culture, Hinduism, in our culture, is our sacred and holy book which we worship, and we try to practice the principles in it every day. Arjun was given the knowledge of this book while the battle of Mahabharata was going on, and there was one more important lesson that Krishna ji gave Arjun that day. It was the lesson of karma. He was told to always just do the karma and not expect the fruits of it, not expect rewards for it, not expect anything in return for it. Just do the karma, because that is what you're supposed to do, and to be very honest with you, that's all you can do. So in this case, Arjun persevered. He soared towards his dreams in the face of adversity, the adversity in this case being the Narayani Sena, Krishna ji's army that he was up against, and he came out victorious with the Pandavas. So, on to the talk now. I started my TED talk with we're telling you guys that I have a background with flying and I am passionate about it. I actually want to become a pilot when I grow up. So this morning, I wish to share with you the story of my first love. It was a small microlight trainer aircraft from the 80s. I was eager yet very skeptical on whether or not I should hop into it. It took a lot of persuasion for me to muster up courage as I gingerly sat in the co-pilot seat with my dad, as I said before, a professional fighter pilot at the controls. He fastened the seat belt and we were ready to take off. He pushed the throttle all the way up, and with a sudden jerk, the plane slowly started moving on the tarmac. It picked up pace in an instant. The wings started shaking. The propeller was moving at full speed. My heart was beating at 1,000 miles an hour. I closed my eyes and held on for dear life. Within the blink of an eye, we were airborne. That, as I like to call it, was my first date with flying. It was and has remained my greatest love ever since. In that moment, high up above the clouds, I knew that flying and I were inseparable partners, because when you're at those altitudes, moving at high speeds, you can just close your eyes and everything fades away. It's just you, a human being, floating through space and time. That teaches you to be humble, because you may think you're above everyone else when you're sitting in that cockpit, but when you look out of the window at the vast expanse of the universe, you come face to face with reality. You feel it in your heart that away from worldly bondages, up above is something eternal. Now, my first experience ever being in a aircraft, in not just flying in an aircraft with my dad being the pilot, in being in any aircraft at all in my entire life, I'd rather just show you than tell you.
Now, baby, you are flying the airplane.
Wasn't that cute? Little Vyom was very scared in that small microlight aircraft from the 80s, and as you can see, my hands were shaking and I was very tensed up. And I would like to say this in my defense, I wasn't that scared. This is my dad's fault. What he did was, in that aircraft, when you switch it switches on with a normal key. The engine switches on with a normal key as you would in a car. So while we were in the air, I was looking out the window, gazing, having fun. He took the key out and turned the engine off. The propeller started rotating. I was looking, he patted my shoulder. He said, Vyom. I was like, yes, Papa. He said, look, the propeller stopped moving. I went into a state of panic. Papa, what will we do? I started crying. He said, Vyom, we're going to have to land in a field. I don't know. I'm not prepared for this. This is not a proper aircraft to make a landing. And it was a whole hassle. This video was taken 10 minutes after that. That is why I was very tensed up. But I was scared in general too. That is why I blame my dad for that. But I eventually overcame that fear, and before I tell you how I did that, I want you to see the pictures of me afterwards. This was my second ever flight in that same airplane with my dad, and yeah, not so scared anymore this time. Thank you, Papa, for the lifelong trauma. So yes, overcoming that fear. When you truly love doing something, when you're truly passionate about something, the challenging aspects of it become very minute. If you truly love something, it is not impossible to be afraid of it, but it makes you very resilient and makes you strong to face that fear. Because if you're truly passionate about something, you will take any step in that direction to achieve your goals. And this is where I would like to tell you all a saying. This was said by Dr. Neil deGrasse Tyson. An interviewer asked him, "Sir, how do I choose a career? How do I choose a passion? How do I choose what I want to do in my life, a profession?" What he said will stick with me forever. To choose something that you would do for free and then make it into a profession. That saying will stay with me forever, because in my case, I thought about what I wanted to do. I want to fly. If someone gave me an airplane, I just go take off and I'll do whatever. I won't require the money. I won't look for the money. I won't tend for the money. And I want everyone in this auditorium today, I know a lot of young students here, you're still uncertain about what you want to do in your life, what career you want to pursue. Think about something that you would do for free. That you love doing, you would do for free, and then try and make it into a passion. And if you succeed in it, even if you don't make that much of a luxurious earning in that, you will be happy in life, because that is your passion and that is what you will want to do. And this quote, I just have to say, it gave me so much more motivation. Now, keyword, motivation. In my journey, motivation has been like a very driving factor, and in everyone's journey, motivation is a driving factor, but motivation is a very tricky pedestal to be on. See, you can be motivated, it is a very driving factor indeed, it pushes you hard, pushes you to achieve your goals and everything, but it is a very tricky pedestal to be on, because one day you can be motivated, the next you can feel demotivated. It is not consistent. One day you're motivated, one day you're not. And it is not a viable solution to just be motivated if you want to achieve your goals. The key word here is the next slide, discipline. If you are disciplined, it doesn't matter if you're motivated, you're demotivated. Let's take, for example, you want to lose some weight. It's 5:30 in the morning, it's raining outside, you're cozy in your bed, and you worked out the day before, your body is sore. And if you're motivated, you'll be motivated the day before. Right now, you're demotivated. I'll do it tomorrow. This is what starts the cycle of inconsistency. But if you're disciplined, as you can see in that graph, it just keeps on going. You're feeling demotivated, sad, angry, happy, whatever. You continue the hard work, you continue the process, and you stay consistent. That is what separates everyone. That is what separates the great people from the rest of the people. And I see a lot of these people, they try so hard to achieve their goals. They try, they fail, they try, they fail, they try, they fail, and eventually they give up. And I want to say this one thing. If you truly actually give your 100% to something, you can't lose. Or even if you do lose, it doesn't matter anymore, because as I said in the starting of my speech, the Gita Updesh, if you do the karma that you're supposed to do, the fruits that it bears, the reward that it bears, it does not matter anymore. But I still want everyone, every single one of you to, whenever you want to achieve your goals, whenever you are trying to pursue and achieve a goal, give your 100% the first time around. Don't linger on, don't just, put half effort into it. I'll state this with an example. I want everyone in the audience to raise their hand. Everyone just raise your hand. Okay, now raise it higher. See, why didn't you give 100% the first time around? That puts into perspective what I am trying to say here. I know that was a silly example, but and this also acts as a perfect segue into the next part of my talk here today. In our school, Sri Venkateswar International School, there is a very prestigious ceremony that is called the investiture ceremony. And ever since the starting of the year, the highest badge that I thought you could get, the highest recognition that I thought you could get was the head boy. I started at the beginning of my year, I persevered, I did this, and at the end when the investiture ceremony rolled around, I was confident in myself, I was going to get it. There was no doubt. I didn't get it. What I got instead was the cultural captain, which I was so ungrateful for. And I want to apologize to all my teachers because you value something that you didn't get, and you are ungrateful to something that you did get. For a week I was sad, I was disheartened. Oh, I didn't get what I wanted. I didn't get it. But what you're supposed to know is there is a saying by Kanye West in one of his songs. God will give you what you need. It may not be what you want, and the teachers will give you what you need. It may not be what you want. It took me a lot of conversations with my mother, a lot of conversations to figure this out. And that when one door closes, like in this case, a billion more doors open. So many more opportunities to achieve your goals, to do this. So I don't want any one of you to be disheartened because of something you didn't get. Because let's look at the theme here today: triumph of the human spirit. And which species better to soar through their dreams into the face of adversity than us, the intelligent mammals, human beings? The indomitable human spirit is what sets us aside from the rest of the animal kingdom. Now, I'll demonstrate this with an example. There has been a meme going around the past few weeks on the internet. Let's read this together. Bear with me here. Aliens watching their human prisoner with 2 broken hands, a missing leg, begin to take in 100,000 volts of electricity as they rip out the reactor to the mothership. They thought the indomitable human spirit was a myth. Now this may just be a joke, this may just be a meme, but I want you to give it some thought. The indomitable human spirit, we're not the fastest species, we're not the strongest species. What sets us aside from the rest of them? Our indomitable spirit. And it all starts, anything and everything that you try, or your spirit, your courage, your willingness, your grit, it all starts with an idea. Now TED has that saying, that world famous saying, ideas worth spreading. If you have an idea, you just keep it to yourself, you don't work on it, you don't share it with other people, there is no use for that idea goes to waste. You need to find a bunch of like-minded people that are just as dedicated as you are into pursuing that dream, into pursuing that idea, and you need to start working on it, because just having that idea and the willingness to do it, just having that, you're already 50% of the way there. So that is the first thing. The second, they have changed their tagline, their motto. It is ideas change everything, and they do. Let me give you all an example. These are from the world famous leaders: Nikola Tesla, Thomas Edison, Marie Curie, Leonardo da Vinci, Benjamin Franklin, Steve Jobs, Albert Einstein, Bill Gates, and Walt Disney. These people are all from different fields, different backgrounds, different points in time. So, and they're from science, literature, art, all different backgrounds, but they all have just those 2 things in common. They all just had an idea and the willingness to go through with it. As we're in India, let's take some examples. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, Mr. Dhirubhai Ambani, Mr. J.R.D. Tata, Dr. A.P.J. Abdul Kalam, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, and Mother Teresa. All of them had an idea, all from different fields, different points in time, had an idea and had the willingness to work for it, go through with it, and work on it. And I just want to say, if you have an idea and if someone mocks you for that idea, you get disheartened, you don't pursue that idea, the world will be all the lesser for it. There was a very amazing quote by Stan Lee. He was very agitated, and he said in an interview, if you have an idea that you genuinely think is good, don't let some fool talk you out of it. And that is what we all should stand by. If you genuinely think you have a good idea, don't let someone mock you and get disheartened. I need you to work harder on your idea and go forth with it and have fun with it and have fun in the journey of pursuing that idea. So last year I had a basketball tournament, and before we were informed 3 weeks before the tournament that we had to play. It was an under-17 tournament. Our captain was over the age of 17, so I was giving the captaincy, and I was very happy. I was over the moon. It was 3 weeks out. 1 week we were waking up at 4 a.m. practicing, doing this drills, that. We're practicing so much for the 1 week, the first week. We had 2 weeks out for the tournament. It had rained a bit and it had stopped raining, but we were still practicing in the court. The court was wet. It was an old court. It was a very old boat made in the 1980s, 1990s. So it had the little glass linings in the crevices of it. So when I was playing, I slipped and something happened. I don't remember it quite vividly, but I slipped and my hand landed on the very crevice of it where the glass lining was, and I made a 3-inch deep incision precise cut in my right palm. I went to the doctor. The first question he asked me, did you do this with a knife? I was like, no sir. I went into the basketball court. I fell down. I got hurt. And the most disappointed person in the entire school was my basketball coach. And I had to get the dressing done. I had to get 6 stitches in my right palm, and it was 2 weeks out. I couldn't practice. I couldn't do anything. And the 2 weeks were over. And then, like, today is the day, and tomorrow we want to go for the tournament. Today I went to the doctor to ask for permission. Sir, please give me the slip. I will not play. Just let me go and watch there and support my team. Obviously that was not true. I was going to play if he gave me the permission. So I said, please sir, please give me the permission. I want to go. He gave me the permission only on one condition, that I do not touch the basketball. I went into the school, the host school, and I genuinely thought, okay, it's fine. I have 6 stitches in my hand. This is very risky. I will not touch the basketball. The first game started. The first quarter ended. We were down 12-2. I took off my jacket, put on my shorts, and I started playing with my hand stitches in my hands. I did not care. So, some way or the other, persevered. I couldn't shoot the ball, I couldn't dribble the ball, I couldn't do anything, but I somehow managed to make a couple shots here and there, pass the ball, and we won the first match. And after the first match ended, my hand was bleeding, so I had to go to the infirmary. I asked the principal of the whole school, like, sir, my hand is bleeding, can I go to the infirmary to get it dressed? And he asked me to look at the hand. To show him my hand, and he said, son, you have 6 stitches in your hand, why are you playing? I said, sir, it is against your school, we need to win, I want to. I said it to the principal, we need to win, and he saw it in my face that I wasn't going to stop, so he told me that you can go to the infirmary, you can get it all dressed up again, and then we went. Second game rolled around, we won 45-12, comfortable lead. And then the third game, the final game of the tournament was against the host school itself, and I had already torn a stitch in my hand. There were 5 stitches remaining now, and we started playing, and I remember this so vividly. The score was 33-33 in the last quarter, 2 minutes remaining, and there was a guy on my team, Ashwardhan, and I remember this so vividly. He is the guy that you would choose to make a 3-pointer. Anytime you pass him the ball outside the 3-point line, he'll make the shot, no problems at all. For the first 2 games, he had attempted it 15-20 times, he had not made a single shot. We were in the 4th quarter, 2 minutes remaining, 33 all, pressure high, my hand is bleeding. I dribble up the ball up to half court, I see him there, he doesn't ask for the ball.